Good afternoon, folks. Thank you for being here. Those videos get me pumped up as much as I can with a sinus infection. I'm sorry if I'm a little hoarse, but it's exciting to see the accomplishments of what we're doing as an agency and to see so many parts of that that have a Marshall fingerprint on it throughout those missions. And if I can be self-indulgent, I can be proud of our team for their contributions to what we're doing as an agency. We're honored and delighted to have the agency leadership with us today. Administrator Nelson, Deputy Administrator Melroy, Associate Administrator Cabana, and Deputy Associate Administrator Swails. Thank you for being here and joining with our workforce. They're looking forward to hearing from you. While we're also preparing with our industry partners the lander that's going to return humans to the moon, the first woman, the first person of color to the surface.
"60 years ago, President Kennedy, he had already gone to Congress in 1961, and he made that astonishing statement. We are going to the moon and return a man safely by the end of the decade. And he makes one of his most memorable speeches. He says, we go to the moon not because it's easy, but because it's hard. And then he characterized it, since he was a sailor, and he used a lot of nautical references in his speeches. He said, the astronauts are going to be star sailors, and they're going to sail on a cosmic sea, and they're going to discover far off cosmic shores.
I just want to say thank you so much to Joseph, Ray, and Larry, and the leadership team here at Marshall for welcoming us, and it is wonderful to be here. I was thinking a lot of the same things that Bill was talking about, just how crucial Marshall was to the Apollo program, which has left an incredible mark on the world. Of course, you're playing the same kind of role again here as we do something very different, as we begin to actually go out with humans in a responsible and sustainable way to explore the whole solar system. And I believe that the propulsion experts at Marshall, the science, nuclear propulsion, all of those things are going to be critical to what we're doing going forward.
It's a real pleasure for me to come and thank you for all that you are doing for Artemis and the ISS. You are critical to our future. And so one of the things that I brought up in talking to the Executive Safety Forum was the need to create an inclusive environment where everybody feels free to be heard, an inclusive team where you create an environment where people feel free to speak up. And so that's what I'm asking of all of you. As you attend these meetings, as we push to get Artemis 2, 3, 4, and beyond going, and Marshall plays a critical role in all of that.
Yeah, it feels so good to be here in the South. I'm from the South, so every time I come back, I can count on tea, hugs, and seeing some really cool space stuff. So always happy to be here in Huntsville. And as the administrator was talking, I was thinking back to the first time I came here, and then I looked at the show of hands in the room and how many people weren't here during Columbia. And you know, I started right before return to flight. And how do we make sure, as an organization, we're making decisions today to help define that future as we go forward? And I don't know about folks in the room, but I'm really excited that we're going back to the moon. And I'm excited to eventually go to Mars. How many people want to go to Mars? A lot of people want to go to Mars.
Technology is moving fast. The complexity of our Moon to Mars architecture, and it's not just Moon to Mars. If you look, for example, at Mars sample return, that's also more complex. What we're discovering is as we're trying to do harder things, it means we have to work together in new ways with a lot of different moving parts.
Absolutely. That's a great question. And that's been one of the key principles as we're developing the teams. And so that's Lori's responsibility when she looks across the broader engine and the work streams to make sure we have diversity in those teams.
And we have meaningful actions that we're going to take. We're laying out a strategic plan to implement this, because this is transitional. This goes beyond political administrations. This is core to who we are as an agency and who we want to be if we want to be successful in the future.
But I can tell you that NASA brings people together, and NASA unites. And that's not only in domestic politics, that is around the world as well.